Yes, good morning, and we want to thank you all for being here this morning. We're here in Ottawa this morning to make an announcement about a plank in our rural and agriculture white paper that we've been spending a lot of time in preparing. And we thought it will be released in the next few weeks, and we thought we would come to Ottawa today to announce one of the major planks within that white paper and talk about it here in Eastern Ontario. With me today is Rob Decker, who's the candidate in Ottawa Centre, and my good friend Steve Clark, who's from Lees Grenville, and I'm Ernie Hardiman from Oxford County, the MPP for Oxford, and critic for agriculture, food, and rural affairs for the Conservative Party. There's a lot of great produce grown here in Eastern Ontario, but right now some of it is being loaded onto trucks and being shipped to the Ontario Food Terminal in Toronto, only to be shipped back here to Ottawa and other parts of Eastern Ontario. The Ontario Food Terminal is a huge success. An average of over 5 million pounds of food pass through there every day. 95% of the wholesale food sold through the farmers market of the food terminal is grown in Ontario. It is an essential part of Ontario's food system, and we should build on that success. We believe there's an opportunity to help our farmers, our processors expanding by bringing together more Great Ontario food in a new regional food terminal. This would give our farmers access to a market closer to home. It would give our small processors access to a reliable supply. It would give restaurants and independent grocery stores a place to source their fresh Ontario produce, which means there would be more local food available in our community. One of the potential locations would be right here in Eastern Ontario. Just Food, a nonprofit organization from Ottawa, believes that a new food terminal would create significant employment and more effective coordination of the distribution of locally produced food. We believe that it is an important part of strengthening both our rural community and economy and Ontario's food system. We think that it has been very successful. The Ontario Food Terminal was built in 1954 as the only food terminal, and since that time it is now bursting at the seams. It has 550 stalls, and at any given time it has 5,000 buyers coming in to buy food, and they're shipping it all over Ontario. We think that there's now the time to move forward and expand that system into different parts of Ontario, and we're looking at a place to build that. So that's why we're here this morning in Ottawa announcing it, that's what we're looking for, and see if we can build a business case as to where that should go. We want to talk to the farmers, we want to talk to the retailers, we want to talk to the process to make sure that everybody has input as to how we proceed to increase the ability of people to purchase closer to home and the product that we all grow in Ontario. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that that those gathers may have for me, and hopefully we will all get the message out today as to the potential we have to expand the jobs in the economy of those parts of the province that are not in downtown Toronto.
Is it enough just to have one additional food terminal, or should we maybe have one on the other side of Toronto as well?
Well, I think it's very important to recognize that we presently only have one, and it's centrally located, and there's a need for economies of scale and so forth to have a food terminal. We're looking at building another one, and we want to do and build a good business case to make sure that the one we build and expand on the one we have in Toronto. And so we're looking at one at a time, and we're looking at Eastern Ontario and Southwestern Ontario, and I'm on equal distance from Toronto to see where it would work. If it works really well, I guess the question would be, why would you not do it in other parts too? But we're not proposing to go that way right away to say, well, we'll build two. We want to make sure that we take it one step at a time. To get success is more important than speed.
How many jobs could it potentially bring in for the local economy?
Well, presently, the process in the food terminal, there's about 50 people working in the food terminal. But there's thousands of jobs created with the movement of the production, moving product in and out of the food terminal from the buyers. Like I said, there's 5,000 buyers coming into the food terminal every day. 5 million pounds per day of food is moving through the terminal today. And so we think that there's a real future there with that.
How much would a plant like this cost?
Well, the food terminal that we presently have, in fact, was built by the food terminal, and the people who rent the stalls, the people who sell their product through that, are paying for it. It is totally self-supporting. I don't know what the cost of building one is, but obviously they had the cost of building it in 1954, and it's working really well. And we want to build on that success. One of the options is also to make it operated by the same people who operate the Toronto Food Terminal, to make sure that the expertise we've built in that food terminal can be expanded into the rest of our marketing system. The Ontario Food Terminal is presently the largest food terminal in Canada. It's the third largest in North America, only exceeded by New York and California, Los Angeles, California. New York is presently looking at expanding to other sites, the same as what we're proposing.
You mentioned as well that a lot of food from this area gets trucked into Toronto and then trucked back. So do you estimate that there would be a cost savings on top of this all?
Well, obviously, any time that you bring the destination of food closer, there's a cost saving. So, and I think that's what we'll be looking at. It's not rocket science to realize that if you produce it here and you consume it here, it shouldn't have a trip to a food terminal 100 miles, hundreds of miles away.
And as well, you mentioned that, I don't remember what I was saying, sorry. Let me rephrase. We're looking at a time where farmers have had a lot of trouble here in this region. Is there any way to sort of that locally by building this terminal?
Well, obviously, any time you can increase your economy, you can build a community, it helps everyone. If you make farming more profitable by having their markets closer to home, everyone benefits. When you create new jobs in the area, everyone benefits. And so I think that this will be a real push for the economy in our rural community.
You mentioned visiting local farmers as well. So is that something you're doing while you're here in Ottawa?
Yes, I don't think anyone who's involved in agriculture, I've been involved for many years, and I'm a critic for agriculture, food and rural affairs. I don't think one can make a trip to Eastern Ontario to talk about what we're doing as government and not stop and talk to the people who are facing all the challenges that they have, particularly in the past year with the drought and particularly hard hit in this area. So I had the opportunity to travel amongst the drought area last summer when it was happening, and I do intend to visit some of them again today to see how they're going.
If you make a Premier's decision to take over Minister of Agriculture for a while?
Well, I said it at the time that I think that agriculture deserves a full-time minister. I don't believe that being the Premier, and because you want to learn more about agriculture, that somehow that means you should take over the portfolio. I think the Premier could very well have appointed a minister to help and advise her as to how to deal with rural Ontario and with agriculture too, rather than take on the role themselves. And I've said it before, I really feel that the past Premier did not listen to his Minister of Agriculture, and this Premier has decided that if you're not going to listen, you might as well not have your voice up the table.
Have you had discussions with the first and third owners of the Ottawa?
Yes, we have. We've met with them a couple of times. In fact, as recent as last Friday, a leader went to visit them. They're quite supportive of it, and as I said, they're a very successful organization, but they are finding too, they're running short of space. They need to look at expanding the base that they have. That model has worked very good for Ontario all this time, and so we're looking at expanding that model out into further parts of the province.
Over there if you guys mind staying so I can take a picture.
Okay. Anyone else? If not,
Yeah, Mike.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
very good.
Good to see you.
If no further questions.